بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم.
Should we write Dr. Wamid here too or no? Because
Yes, you write him because he's watching us. بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. الحمد لله رب العالمين. والصلاة والسلام على سيدنا محمد وأهل بيته الطيبين الطاهرين المعصومين. اللهم صل على محمد وعلى محمد. حجية القطع. The value and the authority of certitude. Today we focus on this, on حجية القطع, evidentiary certitude. Evidentiary certitude. Meaning, حجية, what does حجية mean?
certain.
What does حجية mean?
Authority.
The authority. And specifically it means what? If someone says, what is authority? It has two branches. One branch is munajjiziyya, meaning, and the other branch is mu'adhdhiriyya. Munajjiziyya, it means when you know, when you have qat', certitude, when you know that something is haram, then you must act upon that. You must not touch it. You must not do it. If you do it, you deserve what? Punishment. You deserve punishment. Then you can't blame God because you had qat'. Sometimes you don't have qat'. It's below qat'. It's below. But when you have qat' and ilm and certitude, then it is munajjaz upon you. It means it is liable. It's going to capture you. It's binding. Mu'adhdhiriyya, on the other hand, what does mu'adhdhiriyya mean? Mu'adhdhiriyya, it means
You can be excused.
if you don't know about something, the news has not reached you. You don't know about the ruling and you don't know about the subject. Sometimes about the ruling, you don't know whether this is halal or haram. If you don't know, it's halal. You don't know this is tahir or najis. Then you treat it as what? Tahir. But sometimes you don't know the subject, meaning this is a bottle. You know this is water. It's supposed to be water in this bottle. But someone in your absence came and he put alcohol. Now when you drink it, thinking and knowing that this is water, would God hold you responsible for that if it turns to be alcohol? No. Because of the mu'adhdhiriyya. Because of the excuse that you have. You don't know. He's not going to hold you. So these two things are the hujjiyya, the meaning of hujjiyya, the authority. So if someone asks you, what is authority? Explain authority. You tell him authority has two branches. Munajjiziyya and mu'adhdhiriyya. Now, let's go to Hujjiyatul Qat' that has three characteristics. Hujjiyatul Qat' has three characteristics that we're going to speak about them. Number one characteristic, sifa, peculiarity, is kashifiyya. What is kashifiyya? Kashifiyya means revealing nature. It has a revealing nature, revealing power. This is the meaning of kashifiyya. It means that al-qat', see, this is al-qat'. Let me put it here. Al-qat' is what? I should write what? Equals what? Exactly. Exactly. Al-qat' is equal to inkishaf. Inkishaf, removing the veil. Whatever behind the veil, whatever unknown becomes what? Known to you and revealed. Inkishaf. Same thing in Farsi. Inkishaf. Okay? Now the door is shut. Someone knocks at the door. I know who knocks at the door. I know. Let's say Dr. Ali. Because Umid is following us, Dr. Umid. So Dr. Ali is coming late. I know. I open the door, then this is inkishaf. So I have qat' 100% that this is him. This is him. So qat' means inkishaf. This is the meaning of qat' is inkishaf. The matter is revealed for you. Be it halal, be it haram, be it wajib. It is revealed to you beyond any what? Beyond any doubt. Exactly. Beyond any doubt. So Hujjiyatul Qat' has 3 characteristics. One of them is kashifiyya. Hujjiyya embraces kashifiyya. Hujjiyya has these 3. I'll come to them one after the other. Number 1, kashifiyya, revealing nature. Meaning qat' is inkishaf. This is number 1. Okay? Number 2, it is muharrikiyya. Muharrikiyya means a motive. Motive. It has a motive nature. It's a motive. It is an impetus. It is an impetus. It is an incentive. Alaykum as-salam wa rahmatullah. It's an incentive. An incentive that drives you. Incentive that drives you. Incentive that drives you. Dr. Ali, we are speaking about the characteristics of qat', of certitude. Qat' has 3 characteristics. Hujjiyatul qat' has 3 characteristics. One is kashifiyya, meaning qat'. The meaning of qat', kashifiyya means revealing nature. Qat' is equal to what? Dr. Ali, look at the board for 1 second. Qat', certitude, is equal to what? Equal to what? Qat' is equal to inkishaf. Meaning something behind the door, you open the door, you see the person beyond any doubt. This is called qat'. I have qat' that this person behind this door is such and such. Okay, this is number 1. Number 2 is muharrikiyya. The other characteristics of qat' is what? Is muharrikiyya. Having a motive. I'll give you an example. You are thirsty. You are thirsty. And you know downstairs there is a drinking water. You can get drinking water downstairs. And you are thirsty. Very thirsty. So you have qat'. Definitely that downstairs, definitely qat'. See? Qat'. There is drinking water. When you are thirsty, number 1. Number 2, when you know for sure 100% there is water downstairs, what is the third step is going to be?
You go down.
Exactly. You go to get the water. Muharrik, drives you. An incentive that drives you. Muharrik, pushes you. A reason. A reason. Because you are thirsty, you need the water. And you know behind this wall there is water. So you go there, you get it. Muharrikiyya. Why we are studying these things? If you wait, you will know why we are speaking about these things. Number 3 characteristic is what? Hujjiyya. So again, qat', certitude has three characteristics. One of it, kashifiyya, revealing. The second, after it is revealed, you go for it, muharrikiyya. An incentive to go for it. A drive drives you to go after it. Number three, it has hujjiyya. And hujjiyya, we said hujjiyya is divided into what? Exactly. Hujjiyya is divided into munajjaziyya and... Now, we said qat' has to have something. In order for qat' certitude to be important, then it has to have something. And that something comes automatic with it. Because the aql tells you. Do you remember last time?
Yeah.
Exactly. What is dhatiyya? Something dhatiyya. We said the qat' is something, and this something is dhati. Spontaneous, automatic. Huh? Exactly, exactly. Qat' requires, for the qat' to have value, it has to be hujjah. Hujjiyya. This one, hujjiyya. And the hujjiyya of the qat', the hujjiyya of the qat', the authority of the qat', the value of the qat', is it given by God to it, or it comes automatic? Huh? Automatic. Even God would not take it away from it. He would not. So this one is called in Arabic hujjiyatul qat'. What? Hujjiyatul qat' dhatiyya. Dhatiyya. Or some people, they put it at this. Lazimun, necessity. Necessity. Lazimun dhati. An automatic. Automatic or spontaneous necessity. Spontaneous necessity. Spontaneous. Either automatic or spontaneous. Spontaneous necessity. Lazimun dhati. What do we mean? Can we give me an example on this? Make it easy for me to understand it. What is lazimun dhati? What is it? Okay, I'll give you an example. I'll give you an example. When you let fire, now it's winter time, and you have gathered some woods, okay? And you let fire. What happens after that? After having fire, what do you feel automatically after that?
Warm.
Exactly, heat. So the heat is attached to the fire, never inseparable from fire. Whenever there is fire, there is heat, except in one incident. قُلْنَا يَا نَارُ كُونِي بَرْدًا وَسَلَامًا عَلَى إِبْرَاهِيمَ. That's a miracle. That's a miracle. But in normal circumstances, whenever there is a fire, there is what? Why? Because the fire is what? Is a cause. And the heat is an effect. This is sabab. See, my friends, this is sabab. This is musabbab. Musabbab. This is the cause, this is the effect. So you cannot separate the effect from the cause. Remember, this is law number one. Cause and effect are inseparable. Another example. When the sun shines, it's a sunny day, there is what? Light. Light. As soon as the sun comes up, the light comes in. The sun is what? The sun is the cause. And the effect of it is what?
Light.
Heat and light. Okay? Whenever there is sun, there is sabab and musabbab. The same thing with qata and hujjiyah. As soon as you get qat, certitude, 100%, you are sure about something 100%, then that 100%, that qat becomes what? Becomes what? Tell me, help me. Becomes hujjah on you. Hujjah. That's it. You cannot run away from it. It tells you, hujjah, you have to act upon me. Before you reach 100%, you have an excuse. But once you reach this level, you know God wants this from you. 100% becomes hujjah. And hujjah means munajjaz, munajjaziyah. That munajjaziyah means if you don't do it, you deserve punishment. The hujjiyah, Dr. Ali, hujjiyah of qat, has two branches. One of them is munajjaziyah, the other is what? What should I put here? Mu'adhdhiriyah, ahsant. Mu'adhdhiriyah means if you don't know, you are ma'dhur. You are excused. They don't hold you accountable when you don't know. God would never hold you accountable if He doesn't tell you. But once you know, it becomes munajjaz. That's it, you know. You got the news, you have no excuse. Now look at this here, 100%. We have to discuss this because not all people agree upon this. They say even if it is below 100%. We will come to this. And we will say why some scholars, they say no, even if it is 80%, even if it is 50%, it still becomes munajjaz. And they tell us the reason why. We will come to this. Okay? So number one, the hujjiyah is automatic. Hujjiyah. The hujjiyah of qat is automatic. An automatic necessity, a spontaneous necessity. And dhatiyah by itself. It comes automatic. Dhatiyah. We cannot separate it. Okay? The hujjiyah cannot be separated from qat'. Why it cannot be separated?
Because of its kashif.
Because it becomes kashif. It's like when I ask you why you cannot separate the heat from the fire. Because you tell me the heat is the fire, is the product of the fire, the direct product. Once you have fire, you have heat. You can't separate them. Unless you put something in between. Unless you stand away. But if you are close to the fire, definitely there is heat. You cannot separate them. The light is a direct result of the sun. Once the sun is there, you have light. You can't separate, unless you draw the curtain. You shut the curtain. That's something else. The same thing for the hujjiyah. Hujjiyah, once there is qat', that qat' is binding, automatic. It's like the cause and effect. You cannot separate between them. You cannot separate between the cause and effect. So two things, remember. We have two rules here. Rule number one, when it comes to hujjiyah. Rules number one, when it comes to hujjiyah, remember we have two important things in hujjiyah. Number one, hujjiyah is what? Is, help me with this, is dhatiyah. This is rule number one. Arash, are you with me? If you are not, tell me. I repeat this 500 times.
No, I understand.
The first ruling is that it is automatic. it comes with the qat'. Because qat' removes all the barriers, and it tells you what is in God's book. And when you know God is telling you, I want you to do this is wajib, then this is qat'. And once you know, then this is hujjiyah. Okay, so this is the atiyah. And then the second ruling is that it is, where should I put this? I should make some room here. The hujjiyah is what? The qat'. Can you separate the hujjiyah from the qat'? You cannot separate. They are inseparable. He tells us they are اللازم لا ينفك عن الملزوم. This is the example that they give in philosophy. اللازم is what? The effect. This is اللازم. لا ينفك is what? Does not separate. From what? From al-malzoom. Al-malzoom is what? The cause.
But
The car.
lazim was necessary, Sayyid.
Huh?
Didn't you say lazim means necessary?
Yeah, but it has many meanings. It depends where you put it, in what context you put it. So here, lazim means the effect does not separate from the cause. Whenever there is cause, it is followed by effect. And therefore, hujjiyah does not separate from qat'. Hujjiyah does not separate from qat'. Now, the question is, I have to erase this. Can I erase them, or you are writing?
No, done.
Are you done? Dr. Ali, you are done?
Yes.
Enter, you are done? Nadeem, you are done? Haj Nadeem? Okay. Now, when we speak about qat' and we know that God wants something from us, and that qat' becomes hujjiyah, with value, with authority. What type of qat' is it that we has hujjiyah? Which one? That it has munajjiziyah after it. That once you know it, you have to act upon it. The munajjiziyah. Let's speak about munajjiziyah. Okay? Munajjiziyah means once you know, you have to act upon it. Once you know, you have to act upon your knowledge. And knowledge here, what do we call knowledge in this case? Qat' or certitude. Certitude. What type of commands that entails it becomes munajjaz upon us? The commands of any person or the commands of God? The commands of God. Why the commands of God? They ask why. Because of La ilaha illallah. So it's not the commands of any person. The commands of God because of La ilaha illallah. Right, you are right. Because God has a right of what upon us?
Ownership.
And He owns us, yes. And when He owns you, listen, when you own something,
Command.
exactly, ta'a, obedience. Obedience. God has the right of obedience upon us. Right? The right of obedience. We call it haqqul ta'ah. God has the right of obedience. How do we know God has the right of obedience? From where we bring this right of obedience? From where we bring it?
Quran.
Quran or something else?
Also, like you're bringing your
Exactly. Your reason, your aql tells you. Tells you when someone owns you, is your commander. Forget about God. You work for the military and you have a commander. Okay? And you work under him. Should you obey him or you should disobey him? Which one? Aql says he is your commander, and the meaning of commander is qa'id, leader, your boss. You work for him, so you have to obey him. We have to obey God. God has the right of obedience. Aql tells me before the Quran. Yes, the Quran comes. The Quran says, أطيعوا الله وأطيعوا الرسول وأولي الأمر منكم. Okay? Allah is Allah, Rasul is the Prophet, Ulil Amr are the Imams, infallible Imams. Listen to them, obey them. You cannot argue with them, you cannot defy them. حق الطاعة. Now, what is the scope of حق الطاعة? I obey him. I obey him 100% or 70% or 10%. How much I should obey him?
100%.
Because he's my Lord, so I have to obey him. What is the scope of it, the limit of this obedience? Is it partial? Is it full, complete? Definitely it's complete. Now, the other area. Do I only obey him? Let's raise this, make some room. Do I only obey God when I have certitude, qata, which is 100%? I know 100% he wants me to do this, or 100% he does not want me to do this. Or I obey him even when I have incertitude. In. See, this is certitude, this is incertitude. Dhan. Dhan or probability. احتمال. Probability. احتمال. When should I? This is the right regarding the right of what, my friend? The right of what? Obedience. Is it only whenever I have certitude, or even in cases of dhan, when there is a probability he wants me to do this, also I should listen to him? One.
Both cases.
Ahsant. Both cases, mashallah. What does your aql tells you?
In what situation?
In this case, what does brain tells you? Only in this case you listen to him, or this case too?
Both.
Both?
Yeah.
You all agree?
Yeah.
You all agree? Okay. So in this case, I want you to help me. We said qata' entails what? Entails hujjah, but what? What is the meaning of hujjah, Umeed? Munajjaziyah. Munajjaziyah.
Binding authority.
So when qat' is hujjah, hujjah means it grabs you. munajjaz upon you. You can't run away from it. This is regarding qat'. Can I say the same thing that even if you don't have qat', you have dhann or ihtimal, probability or incertitude, also it is munajjaz or not?
No, mu'adhariyah.
He says mu'adhariyah. What do you think?
Yeah,
Mu'adhariyah, but listen to what we said earlier. We just finished saying that God has the right of obedience on us.
So it's still being negative.
Yeah, even so.
The right of obedience means the aql tells me if I listen to this. I have a commander. One day I come to the office, he gives me orders. The order was not very clear to me. I understood part of it, which is qat', I know. The other part, I don't know. He wants me to finish the work today or not. I'm not sure about it. What does your brain say? Your brain says, leave the office and you are okay, he's not going to punish you. Or the aql says, no, stay, finish it. Maybe he really wants you to finish this. And suppose you really love this commander. Not you are working for money. No, you want to make him happy. You love him. You fall in love with this commander and you want always to make him happy and satisfied. Not because you are working for money, you know. So which one are you going to do?
Complete the work.
Even if it is.
You're going to complete it, but you're not liable.
Okay.
I have a question. So
Yeah.
this sounds like the second one, sort of like an imara. It's not exactly like.
Yeah, not qat, dhann, we are saying.
Yeah.
But even in this case, is it going to be munajjaz
Yeah.
or no, I am forgiven?
I think it's munajjaz.
What does aql say?
Munajjaz, because you're doing your best to follow what you think is correct.
Aql says, listen to this. Aql says qat' is what? Qat' is equal to what? Qat' is equal to what? We said, no, not munajjaz. Qat' we said earlier, Dr. Umid, we said qat' is equal to inkishaf. Inkishaf means you know what God wants from you 100% with no doubt. Inkishaf. Is dhann also going to be inkishaf?
Some of it is, right?
No, because there's a little bit of doubt and it can't be 100%.
No, because tongue is not revealed. You don't know.
But there's, like we said, imara, it's not 100%, but it's close to it.
Exactly. It is some sort of inkishaf, but not 100%. Qat' is 100% inkishaf. This is 100%. That one could be 50% inkishaf. Because there is a probability. It could be yes, halal or haram. There is a probability. So again, there is inkishaf, but this inkishaf is not very strong, is not very clear. Is not very clear. But still inkishaf. Because you suppose maybe he wants me to do this. Because he did not tell me don't do it. So maybe there is a room that he wants me to do this. So it is an inkishaf, but not the strongest level of inkishaf like this. This is 100% inkishaf. 100% beyond doubt. But this one is also, they say it's inkishaf, but 50% inkishaf. So again, right of obedience tells me you must do this too. Because although it is not 100%, but it's still 50%. 50% you have to do. Are you with me, my friends? However, if you are very smart, you're going to help me with this question. We said qat' قطع has what? حجية. Yes? And the حجية of the قطع is what? We give it to the قطع, or it is automatic, just like the fire and the heat? Spontaneous. We said even God cannot tell you, listen, when you have قطع, don't act upon your قطع. God would not tell you this. And I gave the example of the speed limit. I said, on the freeway, there is a sign says 65. They don't put another sign here that, but it is okay to drive 75. Do they put this one? You tell them, listen, you are confusing me. You are saying 65. And you are telling me on the same board, on the same sign, you can do 75? You are giving me two orders. Don't confuse me. Either this or that. Maybe if you drive above this, he's not going to charge you, but he's not going to put it on the sign. Impossible. Because the law is one. Either 65 or 75. Maybe another 2 miles, he will put another sign. Now it's 75. But the same sign at the same spot cannot be 65 and 75. Same thing with قطع. When you قطع, the حجية of the قطع is spontaneous, meaning that even God cannot take it away from you. He would not do that. God would not do that, because in this case, he's going to confuse you. You tell him, God, I know 100% salat is wajib, and now you are telling me it's not. Well, even if you know it's wajib, don't act upon that. Even if you know, God forbids, this is khamr, you may drink it. No, he cannot tell you this. He cannot tell you to go against your qat'. This is the meaning of al-qat' hujjatuhu dhatiyya, comes from within. And God cannot separate them. The same way he does not separate heat from what? From fire, or light from sun. He cannot separate that. However, but can he remove this 50%? This is 50%. This is not an inkishaf, but an inkishaf that is only 50%. Can he tell you not to do that with this one? When you have dhan? When you have qat' about something, he cannot tell you not to do it. But when you have dhan, Omid, are you following me?
Yes.
Don't run away. When you have qat', certitude about something, he cannot tell you to go against it. But if you have dhan or probability, can he tell you to go against it? Can he give you permission in this case or not? In that case, he cannot give you permission because he does not contradict himself. But in this case, does he give you permission to not do it? Can he or he cannot? Yes. Why he can give you permission here?
Because it might not contradict his word.
He does not contradict his word because it's not reaching the level of qat'. If it reaches the level of qat', he's going to contradict himself if he tells you not to do it. But when it is at the level of dhan or probability, he can tell you, he himself can give you an excuse not to do it. But in this case, he cannot give you an excuse. He cannot give you an excuse. Are you with me, my friends? If you are not with me, tell me. This is very critical. In case of qat', God cannot take the hujjiyah of the qat' away from the qat'. Meaning that if he tells you salat is wajib, mandatory, fasting is mandatory, he cannot come later on and he says, don't pray. How you tell me not to pray? You told me pray. And I know prayers is wajib 100%. And now you are telling me do not act upon your qat'. Do not act upon your certitude. He does not tell you. God does not confuse. But when we have dhan, he can give me permission. He says, because it did not reach the stage of qat', still dhan, 50%, I can give you permission in this case not to do it. And I'm not going to punish you if you don't do it. And therefore, we have the hadith of the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam. The hadith of the Prophet says, this is authentic hadith. It says, رفع عن, write this hadith please. عن أمتي تسع. My ummah, my community are forgiven. رفع means forgiven. They are not going to be punished in 9 situations. In 9, tis means 9. In 9 situations, they are not going to be held accountable. They are not going to be held accountable in 9 situations. One of them is, one of these 9 situations that we need them here, وَمَا لَا يَعْلَمُونَ. And things that they don't know, meaning things that they does not reach قطع علم. ما لا يعلمون يعني علم. يعني قطع. يعني قطع. The level of certitude. As long as they have not reached the level of certitude about these commands, they are forgiven if they don't do it. As long as it is in the stage of a probability or dhann, incertitude. So if they don't do it, it's okay. So he's giving me permission. When it comes to dhann, he's giving me permission. But when it comes to qat', can he give me permission? Impossible. He wouldn't do that. He would not do that. Any questions here? So, the ruling is every inkishaf is what? Is munajjaz, binding. You have to do it. If you don't do it, you get punished. Every inkishaf. When we say every inkishaf, the inkishaf could be 100% where we call it what? Qat', or it could be 50% or less than 50%, 30% where we call it what? Dhann or what? Or ihtimal. It becomes munajjaz. However, in this case, in the case of qat', he does not give me permission to go against it. But in the case of dhann, the shara', the lawgiver, gives me permission to go to ignore it. Not to practice it, to ignore it. Because of this hadith. مَا لَا يَعْلَمُونَ. I have not reached the stage of qat'. As long as it has not reached, he gave me permission. But if he has not given me permission, I have to do it. Why? Because of the right of obedience. Are you with me? Right of obedience says you must do it if there is a probability. But then God, out of His mercy, not to make life complicated for us, He said, listen, although right of obedience tells you if you suspect that I want you to do this, you must do it. You must not disobey me. But as long as you have not reached the stage of qat', I allow you not to do it. I give you permission. Yes, Dr. Ali.
Said, is there any examples where something is done or recommended very, very strong enough to become a qata'? You still have to do it even though it's not 100%?
No.
Nothing like that?
No.
Okay.
Sometimes there are certain things that are called what? In fiqh, we call them ihtiyat. Sometimes the faqih gives fatwa, he says, ihtiyat. As an ihtiyat, as a precaution, do this.
Those are really strong ones.
Exactly. As an ihtiyat. Just to be on the safe side. But however, he says when it comes to ma la ya'lamun, then you can skip that.
So say it.
Yes.
When you
Uh-huh.
then like in the instance of one, then that is when it becomes haram or halal.
Yes.
Versus
Wajib, wajib.
inserted-
Wajib, not halal, wajib.
Wajib, exactly.
Uh-huh.
Versus in certitude or probability, it becomes makruh or mustahab.
Something like that. Something like that. Yes, yes. You are not 100% close, but close. Yes. So when it comes, no, not every makruh it means it is this 50%. No. Sometimes Sharia says we know 100%. We have qat' that this is makruh. We have qat' that this is mustahab. Are you with me?
Yes.
We are saying about ihtiyat. Ihtiyat, for instance, God wants us to do one salat on a Friday noon. Either Salatul Jumu'ah, if you did not do Salatul Jumu'ah, then you have to do Salatul Dhuhr. Now, doing it both is ihtiyat, just to be on the safe side. Because some scholars, they say, maybe he gave two commands on a Friday, Jumu'ah and Dhuhr. But most of them, they say, no, one command. Doesn't overburden you, Jumu'ah and Dhuhr. Others, they say, maybe we have two commands here. So because of that, we do ihtiyat. We do both. Because of that. And many, they say, no, if you did Jumu'ah, don't do Dhuhr. Okay? Depends on the faqih who's saying. So, Umeed, not every makruh or mustahab means this is dhan or ihtimal. No, sometimes it's qat'. Imam al-Sadiq says it is makruh, qat'. We have 100% that this act is makruh or this act is mustahab. We have qat' about it. Are you with me?
Yes.
Okay. Let's leave the rest for tomorrow. وصلى الله وسلم على سيدنا محمد وأهل بيته الطيبين الطاهرين.